Ah, that's hot. That's hot.
2025 was another huge year for Ado. A record-breaking tour, plenty of new songs, and her music was even sent to space. The growth of Ado's brand outside Japan is unlike anything we've seen in J-pop, and what's even crazier is that Ado became the most streamed Japanese artist outside of Japan without a major hit this year. So today, I'm joined by my friend Dragon Dog.
Hi guys, Dragon Dog here.
To recap everything Ado related that happened in 2025. We won't be playing any music because having an editor costs money, so please like and subscribe to both of our channels if you enjoy. Ado kicked off the new year with Elf at the end of January, her third collaboration with producer Teniwoha. It's a melancholic ballad that was used as a theme song for a TBS Friday drama. It's a crime suspense story that has some tie-ins to the song's lyrics and music video. The video is centered around two characters, this little girl named Mari and this peacock creature called Chochujin. The literal translation means bird beast person, and I'm going to refer to it as elf. The video opens with Mari running while holding a biwa, which is an instrument traditionally used in narrative storytelling. While running, she eventually stumbles and discovers this hidden area. Mari finds a feather, and as she looks up, Elf appears behind these bars. She gets scared and runs off with the feather and ends up keeping it in her room. Although, as time passes, Mari feels overwhelmed with sadness and hides the feather. Elf was able to watch over Mari through the feather. That is until it was put in a drawer. More time goes by, and eventually, Elf emerges from that hidden place where they were imprisoned. This is where Mari approaches them in tears, holding the feather they had taken decades earlier. Elf gently pats Mari on the head, a tender, almost maternal gesture. The frame then shifts to this image of Mari's younger self, where she first picked up the feather. Elf is then escorted away into the light, making for quite a bittersweet ending. Now I interpret this song to be about grief, with Elf representing a lost loved one, and the feather being a metaphor of how they keep connected to those who've passed. When Mari hid the feather, it symbolized pushing away the sadness that comes with grief, but also the memories of that person. The lyrics are written in second person, which point towards them being said from the perspective of Elf. Now what about the drama that Elf is based on? The story follows Komogi Yamashita, who discovers a letter from her late father, proving his accused killer to be innocent. And so both this letter and the feather serve as symbolic ties to a past that guide Mari and Komogi towards closure. In February, Ado was appointed as the brand ambassador for Georgia, a brand of coffee drinks sold by Coca-Cola. The actual collab was a TV commercial theme song that paired Ado with Honeyworks. The commercial itself is very standard. It features Ado as the narrator alongside Minami Hamabe, who was the host of Kohaku Utakasen back when Ado appeared in 2023. She basically just runs around a town that's bombarded by Ado media, which isn't too distant from what some parts of Japan look like at times. Bouquet for me sounds like your more generic promotional song, but it's still fun and falls among Ado's brighter songs. It was produced by Honeyworks, and the lyrics reflect how both good and bad experiences shape who we are today, while also encouraging us to celebrate even the smallest of victories. The animation in the music video is great, especially the color palette they used, but there's not much to take beyond its surface value. The girl doesn't have a specific name, and she low-key reminds me of Sylphiette from Mushoku Tensei.
Roxy is best girl.
Ado has worked with 40 different producers to date, and John Yakitori is arguably the one who's had the biggest impact on her. Rockstar marks their 8th time working together. While it was used in a commercial for a Japanese trading company, the song itself wasn't specifically written with that promo in mind. It's actually Ado's first live-action commercial, so I guess we can say it's her unofficial acting debut. It depicts Ado performing Rockstar during a live performance. There's an unexpected power outage that leaves all the instruments and equipment useless. Instead of pausing and waiting for the power to return, Ado begins to do the song's stop and clap melody. As the crowd follows her lead, she pulls out a microphone and starts singing. The commercial's uplifting message neatly ties into Rockstar's lyrics, which provide encouragement to anyone still chasing their dreams. You may think the lyrics were loosely written about Ado, but that's not the case. The music video follows this boy who dreams of becoming a rock star, and he shows us the struggles of pretty much every artist starting off. The boy passes away before making his dream become reality, but he's given a one-night chance to return as a zombie and become a rock star. The video opens at his grave. It's struck by lightning and he returns to the flesh. We're then taken 69 days into the past, and no, that number isn't just a joke. In Japanese, the word rock sounds like the numbers 6 and 9 combined, so it makes for a good pun. It then shows 47 days. I'm not sure what the significance of 47 is, so let me know if you have any ideas. Again, we skip ahead, this time to 27 days, which is a really clever reference. Many famous artists have tragically passed away at the age of 27, often referred to as the 27 Club. The boy boy plays at a gravestone at this point, which signifies his death. There's also this motif of butterflies in both the video and lyrics. In Japanese culture, butterflies can be seen as a symbol of transformation and the souls of the deceased. It fits in well with the boy's progression through the video, as well as his different appearances. The video ends with him returning to his grave. The shift in weather from the opening mirrors his arc in the story, from dying with regret to leaving the world having become a rock star. 2025 marked the 5th anniversary of Ato's major debut with Osewa. More on it later, but one of the major things to commemorate this was the release of Ato's first greatest hits album. If you think 5 years is a bit premature for a best hits album, remember that Japan is the largest physical music market in the world. I think the main appeal here isn't the actual music, but rather the goods that are included in the releases. It topped the Oricon albums charts and even peaked at number 9 on Billboard's World Albums chart. While the name is silly like much of her other merch, it pays homage to the wordplay she did when starting out on Nico Nico. It was marketed with the slogan, all hits, no misses, despite there being 40 songs across the 2 CDs. The album comes in different versions, with one notably including footage from Ato's first live concert at Zepp Diver City called Kageki. The new additions here were the songs I went over earlier, as well as an unreleased full version of Hello Signals, which is an advertisement song from 2023 for students getting their own phone. Ato's first anime tie-up for the year came in June with Stay Gold. It's a high-energy EDM song that was used as a third ending theme for Beyblade X. It pairs Ato with Grammy-winning producer Jax Jones, and I think it's a great intro song for new Ato listeners who aren't familiar with J-pop. The entire first part of the song is in English, and it really shows how far Ato has come along with their English. I do find it funny that despite the number of lyricists for this, it still sounds awkward to sing for any English speaker. The phrase "Stay Gold" originates from this Robert Frost poem and relates to the lyrics. The theme of facing the unknown with courage and staying true to yourself amidst the world's corruption. Stay Gold released in June, and we also got a Y2J remix in August. It's a more DJ-centric version that offers a refreshing take on the original. It sounds like it was made for Jack Jones to perform live, and I personally think it's among the better Ato remixes. Next, we have Ato's first original song following her Hibana world tour. The story of The Wind and I is a slower paced ballad with rock elements. Ato's vocals are more relaxed but still powerful and have a lot of emotion in the chorus. It's a hopeful track with the theme of having appreciation for day-to-day life. It was the theme song for this film, which is based on a political military manga, and the music video follows a girl who travels the sea to deliver letters. The production and lyrics were done by Hiroji Miyamoto, who's the vocalist for the band Elephant Kashimachi. It was also arranged by Mafu Mafu, who, if you're not aware, is a prominent artist from the Vocaloid community who Ato admired when she was younger. Lastly, we have Ato's 6th or 7th original song of the year, depending if you include Hello Signals. Magic is an upbeat retro-style track that was used as the opening theme for the Disney reboot of Cat's Eye. One of my favorite examples of Japanese music is how good the bass usually is, and this song is a perfect example of why. Tsumiki's arrangement is groovy and fun, and Ato's vocals are solid, even with the amount of variety. The highlight for me is the smooth contrast between her singing and the spoken word verses. Ato also says 1, 2, 3 in French, so guess you can say this is one of her first songs sung in 3 languages. The meow part of the chorus was used frequently on social media, and it seemed that Magic will eventually surpass Elf to become her most streamed song from 2025. The music video takes place in a casino featuring these 2 characters, this man and the protagonist Cass Giocata. Cass in particular has gotten a lot of love from the Ato fandom on social media, and the lyrics are about them in relation to the music video. It's set in a casino where the man challenges Cass. He's overwhelmed by their strength, suspects them to be cheating, and ends up not only losing his bet, but also his heart. I presume they're playing a 5-card draw since that version of poker is what's most popular in Japan. We see their cards back and forth, showing that Cass actually cheated. He loses every hand, but Cass actually cheats in the last hand. The man has a 4 of a kind, whereas Cass has a straight flush. But Cass has a heart of 7s, which is also in his hand. Overall, this is my favorite Ato music video from this year. Besides new music, we also got a handful of new Ato music videos for existing songs. The first was Aishite Cute. This was covered back in 2023, and it finally got a music video this year. Unfortunately, it was actually taken down months later because of copyright. The video tried to pay tribute to the original Sashitama music video by using some frames and artwork from it, but it didn't get clear permission to use it, so Universal Music really had to remove their own project because they didn't follow Japanese copyright laws. The other song that got a music video was Zero from Zanmu. Now this one is really cool because it's one of the only times that Ato's avatar Chando was ever featured in one of her music videos.
Now, let's go over Otto's covers. For the sake of time, we will be excluding karaoke covers and only covering songs mentioned on the Otto master list. Charles. Otto's first cover collab was with Tatsuya Kitani and Balloon. Keina Suda is a Vocaloid producer who goes by the name Balloon. In April, he released a concept album that featured 6 songs, 5 of which are reimagined versions of some of his past releases. They're covered by artists that he deeply respects, and there are some pretty big names outside of Otto, such as Natari and Ryol. On the eve of Otto's first Hibana concert, she released a cover of the song Hibana. It's a Vocaloid song from 2017 that has over 75 million views. Despite being very busy this year, it's nice to see Otto make time for her Utaete activities. Next is Jukai. 2025 marked the 43rd anniversary of Akina Nakamori's debut. If you don't know her, she's arguably Japan's greatest idol of all time and one of the most recognizable women from 80s J-pop. Meikyo is a tribute album that sees Otto and a bunch of other artists cover some of Nakamori's most iconic songs. Matryoshka was originally produced by Hachi in 2010 and is a special collab between Otto and Rib for his album Ratimiria. Rib is a very prominent utaite who rose to popularity in the early 2010s, so the cycle of Otto working with people she grew up listening to continues here. One of her early 2025 releases, Gegege no Kitaro, the cover was created as the opening theme for the new My Favorite Gegege Generation recap series, which goes over the evolution of the 1968 classic, with the original song being composed in 1967 and published as a promotional single in the Shonen magazine. It then later was adapted for the anime. Later in July, Otto released a cover of Ego Rock, specifically the long version. Since back before her official debut in 2020, Otto also did a cover of the short version. The original of both the short and long version were produced by the artist 3 and were released in 2018 and 2021 respectively. Also in July, Otto's Juzoku Fritters cover was released. The original song was produced and written by Koyori, also known as Denpo P, back in 2014. Along with this, the voice bank used was Hatsune Miku. In this song, like his others, he used the same idea of having electrical poles as the cover. Very quickly after that, Otto released her cover of Orange Genome in July, being mixed by Saburo and the original by Mezume P on the lyrics and Makotsu P doing the mixing back in 2012. The song has a very playful tone throughout it, while in the middle and later parts of the song we get a far more melancholic vibe and tone, especially during the chorus. Near the end of July, her cover of Phantom Thief Kubozono Chiyoko Absolutely Never Makes a Mistake released, being again mixed by Saburo, and the song overall has a very uncanny feel, both in lyrics and general vibe of the song, on the original and Otto's cover. The original song was produced and written by Sinamoto in 2012. Cat's Eye was the opening theme for the 1983 anime of the same name, and City Pop fans will know this track from Henri's album Timely. The anime recently got a new adaptation, and so Otto was brought in to cover the opening. Summer Night Magic has a very mellow feel to it, that is also very different from Otto's main style, although she does to a lot of them. It also seems to appeal to a non-J-pop audience quite a bit as well, or at least more than her average cover or original song. Otto's cover was released in September of last year, covering the original by Indigo La End from back in 2015, with its original, very bittersweet tone and delivery of lyrics preserved in her cover. In October, Otto experimented with a bit of a new style with her cover of Yuki no Reason. The original song was released in 2012 and sang by the character Umi Sonada, voiced by the vocalist Suzuko Mimori, for the Japanese multimedia show Love Live. One other thing is that the song has a very high energy feel to it, which matches perfectly with what Otto is and does with her music, with songs like Odo and Sho, while still switching it up a little bit. Another song worth mentioning is The Comet Train's Bell Rings in December, covering the original by Mafu Mafu and Sararu as the duo After the Rain, from back in 2016 as a part of their EP/album Anti-Clockwise. Her cover was significant since Otto had said before that she looks up to Mafu Mafu especially, with The Comet Train's Bell Rings even inspiring her other songs Sakura Biori and Time Machine. Although not in 2025, in early 2026, Otto covered Odoru Ponpokorin from the classic Japanese kids show and manga Chibi Maruko-chan, the original TV series starting in 1990 and Odoru Ponpokorin being the opening for the second season of the show. In Otto's MV for her cover, there also seems to be a reference roughly halfway through the song that is very similar to a part of the MV for her song Show.
Back in 2023, Otto formed an idol group called Phantom Shita. They've been on a steady rise ever since, with some big accomplishments this year. They held a world tour at the start of the year, which spanned 15 cities across Asia, North America, and Europe. The group also signed to a major label and released a handful of songs. Another cool thing was that the Uzumaki mangaka Junji Ito did profile photo illustrations for the members. In May, Hisui notably left the group due to health issues, making them a 4-member unit. The last thing I want to mention but not go over, since it technically wasn't in 2025, was their first take appearance. Phantom Shita appeared for their own song Zoku Zoku, as well as alongside Ado to cover a few of her songs. For those who don't know, Ado collabed with Sanrio back in 2022, and the result was this character, Ado Rosa Taromeri. This year, Ado Rosa had a voice debut and released her first single on her birthday. She ended 2025 as the 35th most popular Sanrio character. Another random music collaboration Ado did was with the group Sweet Potato. Their name translates to sweet potato, and they're made up of 4 vocalists. We have Yuna Imamori with the pigtails, the white-haired Anon, the blue-haired Silk, and the purple-hair Azuma-kun. The song's called Wakaise Yo, and it's produced by Michi M. Overall, it's a pretty silly song. Lastly, Ado did her second partnership with McDonald's. The first was a remix of Odo back in 2023. This was a collab alongside Yoasobi and Hoshimachi Suise. The song played as a mashup of Racing Into the Night, Yoru no Piero, and Bibiriba. The production is Racing Into Night for the entirety, with the vocals shifting between the 3 other songs. Despite the awkward transitions between vocals, I still think the mix is pretty fun. 2025 marked the 5th anniversary of Ado's major debut with Osewa. To celebrate the milestone of her 5th anniversary, Ado and her team rolled out a number of things. The first being a new artist photo, which was a huge surprise for fans. It was unveiled on January 10th, which commemorates the 8th anniversary since Ado posted her first cover on Nico Nico. Besides the Ado bum mentioned earlier, we also got pop-up stores, a quiz, and some interviews. There were 5 pop-up stores in Japan, located in Tokyo, Osaka, Hokkaido, Fukuoka, and Aichi. There were themed displays, photo spots, and plenty of merch, which included some exclusive items. One cool thing they did was make each of the different locations have specific colors for some of the merch designs. This physical pop-up store was also brought to other countries across Asia, and much of the merchandise was also globally available to purchase online. In October, the Ado Worldwide Homecoming mock exam was released. This was a quiz for Ado fans to test their knowledge about her, and it came with 3 difficulties. Another big thing for her 5th anniversary were the 2 interviews posted on YouTube. To me, it felt like a follow-up to her Artists on the Rise video from 2021. In the first video, she credited Vocaloid and Nutaite culture for saving her life and shaping who she is today. She expressed her goal to give back to this culture and ensure it remains prevalent. She wants to become the ideal version of herself, while also remembering that she's still human beyond the persona. In the second video, she emphasized that her success isn't hers alone. There's all the producers, songwriters, and other people who made her success possible. She spoke about not wanting to be consumed by her polished public figure, as it would disconnect her from being authentic and the honesty behind her music. The biggest thing I took from this interview was Ado saying that she doesn't want to be viewed as this flawless idol or fictional character. She's a human like the rest of us, and she wants her music to be a place where people with darker emotions can be understood. I think this is especially important to talk about with the number of parasocial Ado fans I see online. Ado isn't a savior, and she isn't meant to be blindly idolized. I believe that she wants her listeners to think Ado is. Billboard Japan also held an interview with Ado where she discussed her future goals and growth over the past 5 years. Ado said that her way of thinking has significantly changed, and she can now look at herself a lot more objectively. Her biggest dream is to still win a Grammy, and another being to do a world tour that's even bigger than Hibana. Hibana means spark in Japanese, so she fittingly hopes it'll be a small flame that sparks a bigger fire. One thing I never expected to come across is an article that tags both Ado and Elon Musk together. But it's real because her music was sent to space. Ado is the first artist chosen for this project called Bandwagon 2. So basically, a SpaceX rocket has already delivered Ado's recordings to a satellite in low Earth orbit. If this mission goes successful, Ado would be the first person in history to have their voice broadcasted from the moon. Baseball is the biggest sport in Japan, which led to the MLB campaign Heroes of the Game. It's a video that features players from each team as anime characters, with Shohei Ohtani obviously taking the spotlight. Ado's song Show was featured in the video, truly putting the show in showtime. Ado is also a part of the Japanese Heritage Night on June 1st. She had a message played on the stadium screen for the Baltimore Orioles.
Early in the year, there was a collaboration between Fatal Fury and City of Wolves, a Japanese fighting game, and Ado with her song Freedom. The collab was a joint music video using her song in conjunction with a partially animated short video. This was used as an advertisement for the game. Unfortunately, there was nothing else in this collaboration like an Ado-themed character or event. Also in May of last year, Auto began doing a showing worldwide in theaters as a celebration for her second world tour, Hibana. The showing was a theatrical showing of her previous solo live show from 2024 titled Auto Special Live 2024 Shinzo. The concert was held at the Japan National Stadium, which made her the first ever solo female artist to perform at the venue. During the original performance, it had drawn in 140,000 attendees, making it Auto's largest concert ever. Near the end of 2025, commercials for the year-end Jumbo Lottery in Japan had started releasing, with the main theme song titled Year-End Jumbo Symphony. For the lottery this year, Auto was the main singer in the commercial. In the past, other artists like Hirose Komi and Hosokawa Takashi have sang the theme. Auto said that she had never thought she would be able to sing the familiar tune of the Year-End Jumbo Symphony, along with saying that the key point is that the lyrics of it include her symbol, the blue rose. Vivarium, Auto and Me, the new non-fiction autobiography of Auto releasing this year in February. The book is written by Narumi Komatsu, with the story still of course being by Auto, since it is an autobiography. It will be going over Auto's struggles from when she was young to even now, and her rise into J-pop as an utayete and her journey to where she is now, with Narumi interviewing Auto for 3 years to get the most in-depth look into her life we have ever gotten. The title Vivarium is a metaphor for her closet where she used to record and her insecurities, as vivariums in real life are small, enclosed, and isolated spaces used to keep life. The closet metaphor is also referenced in the cover image for the new song of the same name. In October, Auto did a collaboration with the live variety show Banana Stand, where she participated in the segment called Harmony Endurance Game, where the singer tries to sing a song that has overpowering backing vocals while attempting to not get distracted. During her appearance on the show, she performed King Nu's song Hakujitsu and her own hit, I'm Invincible. On October 23rd of last year, it was Auto's 5th anniversary, but also her 23rd birthday. For it, she live-streamed a karaoke session where she sang songs like Sinking Town, Osmanthus, and Cancel. During the stream, she would also briefly chat between singing. In total, she sang 13 songs. Last year, Auto announced that she would be partnering with the Japan national football team as a creative partner. She will also be helping to create a uniform song that represents the team and their uniform in music form for this World Cup. There was also a visual created for this announcement by Orihara showing Auto wearing the team's new uniform. Auto has said that she is looking forward to seeing what kind of song they create and is honored to be involved with the team like this. Auto recently released a cover of the song Soldier Game from Love Live, which has a very upbeat tone and it really comes across well in Auto's singing voice. The song was a part of Love Live 15th Anniversary tribute album where multiple artists came together to do their own renditions of the classic songs from the Japanese multimedia series. In March, Auto made an appearance in the NHK special New Japanism, where Auto and other artists like Ayase from Yoasobi talked about their Vocaloid roots and how that was where they started with music. Later, in April, Auto was again on NHK, but this time for their NHK music special J-Pop, where Auto performed multiple songs for the first time in an NHK studio and also talked to an actor she knows well, Minami Hamabe, as well as talk sessions which connected Auto with fans from all over. During another one of NHK's music specials, Auto was mentioned when talking about how J-Pop has spread throughout the world and asking why it is so popular internationally now, mentioning her performance at Matsuri 25 last year in Los Angeles as a proof of J-Pop's growth. There was an event early in 2025 in March where Auto was a guest DJ for the 802 Bintang Garden Station, with the event being titled Blue Rose Radio as a nod to Auto's symbol, the blue rose. The event was an hour-long section where it was said it will be a precious hour spent on Auto's own words. Previously, back in 2023, Auto appeared on the All Night Nippon station where she hosted every Monday for a year, and just last April she returned for a one-off return. This was called Auto's All Night Nippon Gold. Auto also said, I'm returning to All Night Nippon, and I'm really looking forward to having Ometachi with me again for the night. The last thing I want to bring up is Baby No Money. If you've never heard of him, he's a Canadian rapper who's become really popular online with what some describe as meme marketing. He's someone that can truly relate to chronically online people like myself. Recently, someone made a TikTok asking him to check out Auto. Baby No Money actually did, and he seems to like her music. If Auto can do a song with Imagine Dragons, this is certainly plausible, so I hope it actually happens. Also, I did want to mention that Auto recently started a global newsletter.
Auto's first live of 2025 was Matsuri 25. It was a Japanese music experience held in Los Angeles by the Japanese Culture and Entertainment Industry Promotion Association. It brought together 3 of Japan's biggest contemporary artists with Yoasobi, Atarashi Gakko, and Auto. The goal of this one-night event was to promote the long-term growth and global expansion for the Japanese music industry by building a stronger connection between Japanese artists and American audiences. Yoasobi opened, then came the 4-member group AG, and lastly, Ado closed off the event in her signature box. It was held at Peacock Theatre to a sellout crowd of 7,000, which seems like a big success, although some would disagree. Notably Takuya Chigira. He's the head and founder of the artist management company Cloud9, meaning that he's Ado's manager and label lead. Chigira tweeted that he was very disappointed with the venue size and that he wants to see events aimed at locals instead of Japanese people. This tweet got a lot of attention, and he had to respond saying he wasn't criticizing the organizers, but expressing his desire for more ambition in the future. Ado's second live of the year was at Osaka Kansai Expo. She headlined the opening day of the 184-day expo, and some thought it was going to be cancelled with how much rain they were getting. Despite the weather, Ado put on a great show at the 16,000 capacity outdoor Matsuri Arena, which was full of excited fans. The biggest project that Ado did in 2025 was her Hibana World Tour. For context, Ado held her first world tour in the first half of 2024. It was a huge success, with 14 stops across Asia, Europe, and the US in 2 months. Ado said that Wish was about expressing a dream, and the next step was to spark something as a Japanese artist on a global stage. So she named this tour Hibana, meaning spark, reflecting her wish to bring Japanese music to the world. Hibana consisted of 34 concerts in 4 months, making it the largest ever tour by a Japanese artist. Ado became the first Japanese artist to sell out 13 venues, and Hibana brought in over 500,000 attendees. Another random fun fact is the Pusheen interaction on Twitter. Ado is a huge fan of the Sanrio character, and so Pusheen cheering her on certainly means a lot. Now I've already done a 20-minute video talking about Hibana and my personal experience going to the Toronto show, so if you'd like more details about the tour, I highly recommend checking out that video. One thing that has always separated Ado from other Japanese artists is her merch. Her label puts out tons of merch every year, but a lot of these items are actually pretty memorable or straight up silly. To start, we got a massive wave of merchandise during Hibana. There was the plushie, clothes, and also these Checky style trading cards. My favorite design was the Chado plush at the beach, and there's also a small chance you could pull a signed cart. I mentioned the Ado Bum before, which was sold in different versions, with one of them also having trading cards. Rockstar was released on 7-inch vinyl, and Ado's 2024 live Mona Lisa was also released on Blu-ray and DVD. One of the coolest merch released this year was the kitchen set. Yes, to celebrate Ado's birthday, they sold frying pans. And the wholesome thing was that many years ago, Ado mentioned wanting to make some silly kitchen merchandise, and now she finally has. Another standout piece of merch this year was the Round 1 figure. It's 18 centimeters tall and has Ado in this winter themed outfit. Instead of being sold traditionally, this figure was only available as a prize at Round 1 locations. So if you were really bad at the crane game, there is no guarantee that you're gonna get it, regardless of how much money you spent on attempts. My friend Shi was super kind enough to gift me this figure, and I find it hilarious that by the time he won it on the machine, it would have been cheaper for him to just buy it online off a reseller. Another scummy thing with this figure was that it initially came out in Japan. So some people outside of Japan would have bought it through resellers, but then they made it available at various US Round 1 locations.
At the end of the year, Ado turned out to be the largest Japanese artist outside of Japan, passing other artists like CreepyNuts, Lisa, and even Yoasobi, who held that record for the past 4 years before Ado, from 2021 to 2024. Ado also did the largest ever world tour Hibana from a Japanese artist, with a total of 34 shows, 25 of which fully sold out over 5 continents. Although this year Ado didn't have any major hits, she did have multiple songs chart on the Oricon charts, Only Hits Japan, and also the Japan Hot 100, such as Elf peaking at number 6 on the Oricon digital charts, Rockstar in the top 40 on Only Hits Japan, Stay Gold reaching the top 50 on the Billboard Japan Hot 100, Cat's Eye reaching top 20 on the Oricon digital singles, Magic reaching an insane number 3 on Only Hits Japan and top 40 on the Japan Hot 100, and last but not least, Show remained in the top 100 for the entire year, ending it at 87th place on the 2025 Billboard Japan Year-End Hot 100. In other news, Take Me to the Beach, the Imagine Dragons song featuring Ado, was their most popular of the entire year. For the year, Ado also had 2 songs reach major milestones, the first being her song New Genesis from One Piece Film Red, passing a total of 600 million streams over multiple platforms, and secondly, Show surpassing 500 million accumulated over platforms.
So that covers everything Ado related information-wise for 2025, but there's still a few fun things we wanted to go over. We put together some of our favorite Ado standouts from the year, including tweets, artwork from Ado's illustrator Orihara, and our unofficial Ado awards. And that concludes our 2025 Ado recap. A big thank you to Jerry from Ado Hangout for answering my questions, link to the server in the description. Please check out Dragon Dog's channel if you haven't already, and if you're interested in more Ado videos, you can check out my catalog here. Otherwise, thanks for watching.